You are looking live at the graphic for Studio B, which is where I'm sitting right now. The pre-show talking is on right now. Hi, hello, good morning. It is April 20th, 2026. We're getting ready for our radio show, which is live on the 92.5 FM and 1340 AM, streaming, of course, and the smart speakers and all that, if you have the commands all trained up. We are starting a big and busy week here of local broadcasting. We use our voice to build and connect our community. I'm Steve Lindell. In just a moment, you will hear what I'm hearing in my headphones, radio audio. At the moment, there's a newscast on right now. We'll switch to our live audio to the air feed in just a moment. Jackson Jacoby is my able and awesome producer in the Axia Command Center this morning. Later on, we'll have the 9 a.m. show, 765businessjournal.com. Stay for that. Treva McJury is the guest. Now I'll be quiet because we have radio beginning now.
Now, new, live, and local, and every weekday from 8 to 9 a.m. This is the show talking about what you want to know, what you need to know, and part of Woof Boom Radio's mission to use our voice to build our community. The all-new Delaware County Today, presented by Muncie Community Schools. Now on WMUN, the Talk of Muncie. Here's your host, Director of News Operations and lead morning anchor, Steve Lindell.
Thank you, Tom Campbell. People are talking about weather, ups and downs. Meet the Candidates. Proud to bring you a new series, 8:30 this morning. First guest this week, BSU spring game, volleyball and baseball. And Japan, there's been an earthquake, 7.4 on the Richter scale. There are worries of tsunamis. We'll get coverage on that from our national news provider as it is coming out and factoids are released. Now, we dive into the weather first and foremost every day at this time because weather impacts everybody. We have a meteorologist for that. He is WMUN's Paul Poteet.
Good morning. The worst thing about the weather this week is happening right now. Very cold start to Monday morning. A freeze warning is in place until 9 a.m., and we've seen some surface temperatures below freezing this morning, and the wind chills certainly have been running that way too. But there'll be a lot of sunshine around today. The afternoon high, 55. Not as cold tonight, mostly clear, and 41. Tomorrow, partly sunny. The bounce back begins with a high of 72. Scattered showers and storms late Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, and we could have a few more again Wednesday afternoon. Doesn't look like a big deal. High of 72. We're back to sunshine Thursday, 77. And then the wettest day of the week appears to be Friday. Showers and storms, 76. And scattered showers and storms linger into Saturday, high of 70. At the moment, no big severe risk for anything over the next 7 days, so there's some good Monday morning news. That's WMUN Muncie weather. And now back to Steve.
Thank you, Paul Poteet, meteorologist for WMUN and the Woof Boom Radio Group. We're inside Studio B for our Monday broadcast. Always, one of our focal points is your news. You can follow along on woofboomnews.com as well. Here now is the local news summary on WMUN. According to the State Board of Accounts, more than $20,000 taken before City of Muncie officials noticed irregularities about 4 years ago. One was fired then, and a second was this past week. Channel 13 said, according to the report, one employee allegedly rented out city equipment to another town's Chamber of Commerce and kept roughly $8,000. The matter's in the hands of the county prosecutor's office next.
A wild finish and some history at Kansas Speedway. Tyler Reddick took the lead from Denny Hamlin with 10 laps to go, but then ran out of gas with only 3 laps left. A crash brought out a caution flag, sending us to overtime, which gave Reddick a chance to refuel and then pass both Hamlin and Kyle Larson for his 5th win of the season, leaving NBA legend Michael Jordan, who co-owns the team that he drives for, in shock on Fox TV.
This kid is on fire.
Reddick becomes just the fourth driver in NASCAR history to win 5 of the first 9 races in a season, and the first since Dale Earnhardt in 1987. Greg Thompson, Fox News.
As the conflict with Iran nears a 2-month milestone, Indiana Senator Todd Young says it's time to move forward toward a conclusion.
It's time to wrap it up as quickly as we can. It's time to accomplish the mission.
He warned that the administration is approaching a 60-day deadline under the War Powers Act, which will soon require formal congressional authorization to continue force. Johnette Cruz, Network Indiana.
Ball State men's volleyball kicked off the MEVA tournament with a sweep of Northern Kentucky. They're back in action Wednesday at Worthen Arena. The tournament continues. Anderson Parks Department Ben Orcutt told Anderson Talks he hopes to open Madison County's 2 new anchor parks in September. That's the deadline for the use of the American Rescue Plan funds being used to build the parks.
We'll be swinging a lot harder here by the time we get to the month of May.
Notre Dame wrapped up a physical scrimmage on Saturday. Their spring game is this coming Saturday.
Head coach Marcus Freeman says the day was about evaluation.
So we'll go back, we'll watch it, and we'll get back to work for these last 3 practices.
The final practice will be the playing of the annual Blue Gold game Saturday. Len Clark, Network Indiana.
It was a rainy spring game for the Ball State football team Saturday, and the coach was not singling anyone out with this question from Woof Boom sports director Kurt Darling.
Who were some particular players that you really saw some
I'm not going to single anybody out. I'm not doing that. I want to do that after a game. This is just a practice, but I do think the defense outplayed the offense today.
Coach Yaremovich starts the season in 137 days at Ohio State on WMUN and WLBC Radio. Accountability is what matters. That's what Indiana Attorney General Todd Rokita said last week as he outlined how his office will enforce the Fairness Act on July 1, including holding companies responsible if they're tied to labor trafficking.
We do expect whatever kind of operation you run to have it be run fairly, and that means that you hire Hoosiers. You at least hire U.S. citizens.
Tens of thousands of athletes from all over the world now in Boston for today's 130th running of the Boston Marathon. Not forgetting about the 2013 Boston Marathon bombing, the city has been preparing well in advance with multi-layered security. More than 30,000 athletes taking part in the 26.2-mile Boston Marathon, with the first wave of athletes starting at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
A fatal accident in Pendleton, February, has led to charges against 35-year-old Greenfield man Cody Lee Farrell. Herald Bulletin said toxicology reports showed methamphetamine, fentanyl, and other drugs in his system at the time of the crash that killed Rovina Harrison.
Mark James with a recap of the Acura Grand Prix of Long Beach. Felix Rosenqvist started on pole, then was in command through the first 3/4 of the race, but a late race caution was all that second-place running Alex Palou needed. Because of the position of his pit box, a perfect stop by his crew got him out in front, and he coasted to the win by 4.1 seconds. Rosenqvist would have to settle for second. Scott Dixon completes the podium at the Acura Grand Prix of Long Beach.
Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. spent Thursday defending his proposed cuts.
Complaints about cabinet positions are common, says former Indiana Congressman and Dr. Larry Bouchon. Dr. Bouchon says Kennedy's way of asking deeper questions about vaccines can add something to the policy process.
I think you have to bifurcate this into 2 directions. COVID vaccination, where we go from here. The still resistance to COVID vaccines that has been a chronic problem.
Ryan Hedrick, Network Indiana.
Graduation season coming fast, and Muncie Central High School principal Chris Walker says the senior class will soon be receiving their merch for the big day.
All the graduation products that they've ordered, they get their cap, their gown, their tassel, all the stuff that regalia that they'll be wearing at graduation. It'll be real starting Wednesday.
That from last week's WMUN Delaware County Today radio show.
After the Supreme Court struck down tariffs enacted under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, the Court of International Trade ordered Customs and Border Protection to refund all duties collected under IEEPA. The president signed an order re-implementing tariffs under a different authority called Section 122, but those expire in late July. The administration has existing tariffs relating to steel, aluminum, certain minerals, and tech products under other authorities, and use of those authorities could expand. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
According to the State Board of Accounts, more than $20,000 taken from the city of Muncie before they noticed irregularities 4 years ago. One was fired then. A second was this past week. WTHR said, according to the report, a second employee accused of collecting nearly $5,000 in rental fees and damage deposits for park facilities, but allegedly kept it from the city. The matter's in the hands of the county prosecutor's office now. The Indiana Hoosier football coach, Curt Cignetti, says he's got a lot of players that are either not practicing or dealing with some kind of injury this spring.
Partially the effect of a 16-game season or an injury in season or a new guy that came to us that was injured during his season and had surgery.
More local every day on our free WoofBoomNews.com. And on WMUN, we're in Studio B on the campus of Woof Boom Radio. 92.5 FM, 1340 AM, getting closer to our Meet the Candidate segment, bottom of hour, one of several that are vying for the Democratic nod for the 5th Congressional District. We intend to give you some access to as many of the candidates that can and will listen to, or rather talk to you as you listen to what they stand for. We encourage you to get out and vote. May 5th is the primary election in Indiana, or vote early. Those options are available, of course, already. All right, let's get a quick snapshot of our day today.
It's April 20th, and this is your Fox Daily Snapshot. Today is National Lookalike Day. Some believe the day started in the 1980s when a television reporter needed a lighthearted feature. He saw someone walking down the street who looked like Humphrey Bogart, so they asked him who he looked like. Then they asked a bunch of other people the same question and kept doing the story every year. Also on this day, the Deepwater Horizon oil rig exploded in 2010, killing 11 workers and becoming the largest accidental marine oil spill in history. In 1999, the Columbine High School shooting, 15 died and 24 others injured by the two teenagers who opened fire. And the radioactive element radium is discovered in 1902 by French couple Pierre and Marie Curie. They go on to win a physics Nobel Prize the following year for their research. I'm CJ Papa. That's your Fox Daily Snapshot.
WMUN, showing you now the video in the back of the room. That is President Jeffrey Mearns last week. When I mistakenly put him on camera, he was not audible, but we're thankful that there was nothing happening in the background there when I hit the button that actually showed you a Ball State football game at the moment. Here now, there you go, is that video I was just mentioning as you are now watching me on the gigantic screen in the back of the room. There's a lot of cameras in here, and we bring you the visual depiction of radio, the original social media. Hold on, we're going to talk about the Ball State football spring game and more next on WMUN.
You love your land. During Kubota Orange Days, you'll love all the great deals. With versatile compact tractors, professional-grade mowers, and durable utility vehicles, Kubota equipment can help you turn dream projects into reality. Kubota Orange Days is here, and so are the best deals of the year. Now through June 30th, get select compact tractors with 0% financing available or save up to $5,500. Sale ends soon. Go to KubotaOrangeDays.com or stop by your local dealer for more information.
Hey, it's Jonas Knox, and when production shifts, your workforce has to keep up without driving costs up. Express Employment Professionals connects manufacturers with skilled talent fast, contract or full-time, so the job gets done right. Need assemblers, machinists, quality inspectors, maintenance techs, or production leaders? Get started at ExpressPros.com to find the right people when you need them and reap the benefits of a flexible workforce. Hire smarter and faster with your local Express office. Go to ExpressPros.com to find a location near you.
Too many families face a widening gap between what they can afford and what they need to thrive. More than half of families in the U.S. today are one paycheck away from financial crisis. At Good 360, we deliver hope when families need it most, providing essentials like clothing, hygiene items, and household goods. Put help within reach. Learn more at good360.org.
Hey, listen up. Take the next step toward your future with an affordable online degree or certificate from University of Maryland Global Campus, an accredited state university. Classes start May 13th, and when you apply now, your application fee is waived. Choose from over 135 skills-based programs. Earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's for prior learning and relevant experience, or transfer up to 12 credits toward a master's. Don't forget, save now with no application fee. Classes start May 13th. Visit umgc.edu to learn more.
Want to hear more? Replays uploaded daily on WMUNmuncie.com. Now back to Delaware County Today with Steve Lindell, presented by Muncie Community Schools.
Thank you, Mr. Campbell, the voice of WMUN. Steve Lindell, live from Studio B. We promised you a recap of what happened over the weekend on a very rainy day in Muncie. It was the Ball State spring football game, and our sports director was there. That is, of course, Mr. Kurt Darling.
Well, Coach, first off, good day today for you guys?
Yeah, it's a beautiful day in Muncie, man.
Yeah.
It was cold, it was raining, but the guys had great energy and played hard. And that's to culminate the spring with the spring games, always fun. They got to compete. It was fun.
What were some things that you really learned about the squad today now that you guys had some elements to work with?
We've got a lot better, and we need to continue to improve. But, the thing I'm most excited about is just watching these guys play hard and come together. I mean, you see them all celebrating out there and talking afterwards. There's a bunch of new faces in our locker room, so for everybody to come together is good.
Then for you to have some recruits out here as well to really see the guys really get into it as well.
Yeah, spring game, man. We got our practice that we're trying to have. We got our committed guys or signed guys that are here for next year with their families. We got a bunch of recruits and a bunch of alumni, so it's a lot of moving parts, but it's an exciting time.
Who are some particular players that you really saw some
I'm not going to single anybody out. I'm not doing that. I want to do that after a game. This is just a practice, but I do think the defense outplayed the offense today.
Good deal. Thanks.
Two quarterbacks. You got this battle. Do you like to have that kind of battle this spring?
We want competition at every position. That's when your roster's good, when you got competition at every position because the guys push each other. And also, man, football, injury is a reality in football. So to be able to have depth and have multiple players at positions that you can trust is good.
They're two unique skill sets, too. Is there any thought in your head, let's do a two-quarterback system?
We're always going to play the best players. So I've played two quarterbacks before, and I've played one quarterback before. So we got a long way to go before then.
What are you most excited about this offense?
I'm just excited about the weapons that we have. We've been a lot more explosive this spring than we were last spring, and the quarterbacks are distributing the ball, and we have depth a lot of positions offensively, which allows you to use the guys' talents.
What gives you confidence you guys can have even more wins this year than last?
Just in year two, we know obviously in the offseason we went through the MAC play for a year, so we're able to see what needs we had to address, and we feel like we've done that through the high school recruiting, developing the guys that we have, and then obviously the portal helps with that.
And all the Indy guys on the roster.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah. We want to get Indiana players here, man. We want guys that we sign out of high school, to come play here, and we want guys that go somewhere else, that go in the portal and come home. So it's great to have all those kids, and the Indiana high school football coaches really do a great job preparing them. So we got to recruit this area, and we always will.
Lastly, Coach, to see Chris Capco out here, how's that little conversation?
It's great. Obviously, I've spent some time with him. He's been here a few weeks, but this is his busy time trying to build a roster. So I know what he's going through. We're talking today. We're going to sit down at the end of May when he's done with his roster and spend some time together.
Was it nice to have his support out here?
Yeah, it's great. It's great. And, he's busy right now. I've seen they've signed 3 or 4 guys already, and that's exciting, man.
That audio with Coach Uremovich in the media scrum right after the Ball State Spring Showcase, formerly known as the Spring Game, at Schumann Stadium. It was a rainy day. The coach had and everybody had a lot of wet hair going on, but they didn't care. They were playing football and getting excited for the Ohio State University game number 1 of the contest schedule, which you will hear on Woof Boom Radio again, as we did last year, pre- and post-game right here on WMUN. The broadcast play-by-play happens on our WLBC. That's 104.1 FM. Now, we're getting closer to a race in May. Perhaps you've heard about it. It's the Indianapolis 500. It's apparently a spectacle. I didn't make up the phrase. They did, those marketing people. What we have is a recap of the Indycar race from over this past weekend. While we didn't carry that race, we certainly want you to be dialed in to these drivers. Some of the craziness that happened in NASCAR. Did you see what happened at Kansas? I think we covered that earlier in the hour within our local news summary. But now, let's get the IndyCar summary on WMUN.
Mark Janes and Nick Yeoman recapping the Acura Grand Prix of Long Beach, and for the second time in his career, Felix Rosenqvist was on pole. He led the field to the green flag. Alex Palou started the chase early. He was patient through the first three quarters of the race, and thanks to a late race caution, that would pay off for Alex Palou.
Looked like it was going to be the day we've been waiting for, not only for Felix Rosenqvist to pick up his second career win, but also for that Meyer-Shank Racing team. Mark, they haven't won a race since Helio Castroneves went to victory lane in the 2021 Indianapolis 500. Rosenqvist dominated, but a late race caution for debris brought everyone to pit lane, and it was ultimately the deciding factor.
And both needed perfect pit stops. They both got them. The difference, because of where they are in points, Palou had the better pit positioning.
Yeah, Rosenqvist was pitted right in the middle of pit lane, didn't get out of his box as clean as he would like. As for Palou, he could grab a gear and speed right off of pit lane with the race lead. And Mark, when we restarted this race, Alex Palou flat out checked out.
And needless to say, he was very happy in victory lane.
Incredible what they did with all the pressure. I mean, everybody was coming in on that yellow, and they knew that it was either we were going to win or we were not going to win. So it was all on their hands today. They did an incredible job once again.
Rosenqvist would have to settle for second place. Scott Dixon has bemoaned his woes in terms of qualifying of late. Had a much better starting position for this race. Had a late race battle with Kyle Kirkwood, but he picks up a badly needed podium finish.
Yeah, Dixon ends up on the podium. Kirkwood has to settle for fourth, and Mark, the top four all Hondas as we head to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and the month of May.
And they lead the battle for the manufacturer's race. Honda does over Chevrolet, 423 to 348. Alex Palou, your winner. Felix Rosenqvist finishes second. Scott Dixon was third. Kyle Kirkwood, a two-time winner, settles for fourth. Pato Award completes the top five. Alex Palou heads to the month of May with a 17-point lead over Kyle Kirkwood. Again, Palou the winner of the Acura Grand Prix of Long Beach.
All right, thank you, Mark Janes. And the report there on the IndyCar radio network. The Indianapolis 500 will be heard right here again on WMUN. All right, good morning to Portland, Oregon. Sister Sherry, you're very early up and listening there. Minnesota, Mama and Roger, I see you on the Alexa device streaming screen too. All of you and more. We have more to do in just a moment. Stand by. Delaware County Today on WMUN.
Business and economic development drives the 765. That's why WMUN News Radio created the website and the weekly radio show called 765businessjournal.com, Mondays from 9 to 9:30 a.m. Hosted by longtime Muncie resident and former broadcaster Lefay Pagese. Sponsored by IU Health, Town of Yorktown, MITS, Ivy Tech Community College Muncie, Minnetrista, YMCA of Muncie. If you have tips or questions about business and economic development, email WMUN@woofboom.com. That's WMUN@woofboom.com. You can also call and leave a voice message at 289-6397.
If you've got spring fever, Lowe's has the cure. During SpringFest, make your landscape stand out with 3 free bags of Miracle-Gro 3/4 cubic foot garden soil when you buy 3. Plus, get up to 40% off select major appliances to keep clothes, food, and dishes fresh all season long. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 4/22 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. See Lowe's.com for details. Soil offer excludes Alaska and Hawaii. Introducing Home Care Plus, a new subscription service from Lowe's that helps make life easier by giving members a hand with home maintenance. Let Lowe's tackle the tasks you keep meaning to do, like electric dryer vent cleaning, replacing hard-to-reach light bulbs, and more. Subscribe to Home Care Plus for just $99 a year and consider your to-do list done. Members get more at Lowe's. Available in select zip codes only. Cancel anytime. Non-refundable fee. Product purchase required. Terms and service restrictions apply. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
Live, weekdays from 8 to 9 a.m. with replays later. This is the Daily Delaware County Today with Steve Lindell.
As we now begin and continue a series of interviews called Meet the Candidates, there are many that are, well, they're willing, they're able, and they're, the willing is the very important part to serve you. But you have to do your job, folks, and that's get out and vote. So the whole point of Meet the Candidates is for you to know who's running for what. And I will bring up to the dais right now with one more microphone push. There's lots of buttons here. As we go into what we call the two-shot on the screen, I would like for you to introduce yourself to our audience, if you don't mind starting there.
Yes, my name is Stephen Avit.
And you are running for?
U.S. Congress.
You're one of 7 on the Democratic side that is trying to have that nomination in the primary election. I guess I would start with this. Why choose Mr. Avit over the other candidates on the Democratic ticket this time?
Yeah, no, that's a great question, because we kind of joke up on stage. We've been through so many of these candidate forums together that we are really just kind of 7 different shades of blue. So it really is just picking who do you think will best represent you. And at the end of the day, I don't have any political experience. I'm just frustrated. I'm a small business owner. I've got experience doing things like that. So at the end of the day, I just really want to go to Washington and get things working again. It feels like it's broken.
Sometimes it's the darndest things that come from the minds of people that are outside of that realm, I think, and that can be a very useful thing. Somebody that is what they call a career politician, they're certainly, and we are certainly thankful those are willing to serve in those capacities as well. But I think there are some certain pluses in those regards. You said a small business person. What is your business?
Yeah, so my degree is chiropractic. So I've owned chiropractic clinics in the past, and I've also served in a role more with marketing and sales consulting for a handful of chiropractic companies that sell to other chiropractors. So I've got a little background both in healthcare, direct patient care, but then also kind of solving business problems and that end of things. So that's kind of really what I want to bring to Washington, is that common sense approach to let's just get something done for a change.
We're on WMUN right now in Studio B, Meet the Candidate segment here with Stephen or Steve Avit. I was only called Stephen when my mom, who is listening right now, was mad at me. Did you have any sort of name change in your family lineage that was similar to that by chance?
Yeah, pretty much the same situation. Yeah, exactly.
You mentioned the fact that this is would be a new job for you. The federal government is obviously quite a different sort of a task and an undertaking. What are your ideas if you do receive the nod ultimately that you are hoping for? What will you do as serving in this capacity?
Yeah, I think the first thing I'd like to see is just Congress return to functioning again. And I think we do have a real opportunity this upcoming session. We've got a number of people in Congress retiring, so there's going to be a lot of turnover this time. So with such a large freshman class, what I would like to actually see is a group of folks get together and say, let's pass some easy stuff. Let's look at those 80-20 issues where most of the country agrees. Let's pass some easy things. Let's learn how to work together across the aisle again. And then maybe we can tackle something bigger like taxes, which would be the thing I'm most passionate about, because I feel like that tax code is completely upside down, where billionaires get a free ride and the middle class, we're the ones having to really kind of do the heavy lifting.
I watched a little bit of your from your website, some of the intro stuff on Steve Avit. And one of the things you said quite clearly was affordability being an issue. Talk to that subject, if you would.
Yeah, I mean, life has just gotten too expensive, and I'm not going to lie here and just say I can make grocery prices lower. That's not realistic. But what are things we can do to make life more affordable? And that's really why I look at the tax code. That's an easy one. Look at something like, student loans. I think if you get a student loan, you should have to pay back what you borrowed, but maybe not the interest. Why should the government be profiting off of your education? Just kind of pay back what you borrowed. They'll make their money later off your taxes.
Steve Avit is our guest. Meet the candidates. He is one of the 7 trying to have the Democratic nomination for the 5th Congressional District. May 5 is the primary. Early voting is on now. Aside from affordability, since we just touched on that, what is maybe the next most heard topic that you're hearing about in your work with the campaign?
Sure. The next one, it's really tied into affordability, but it's going to be healthcare. And that's just a big one. I mean, people are getting crushed by the cost of their health, by the health insurance plans out there. And for me as a healthcare provider, that one is personal. One of the reasons I did get into this was I had a patient come into me just after 4th of July weekend. She had hurt her lower back. She wasn't there because she couldn't play with her kids. She wasn't there because she couldn't enjoy her life, do things with her husband. She was there because she could not afford to miss work. And she came in just really wanting to get the least amount of care possible, just so she could get back to work and not miss a paycheck. And that's really when it told me there was something really broken with this whole system.
Steve Avit is a candidate for the 5th Congressional District. Meet the candidates segments here on WMUN's Delaware County Today. One of the other issues that I'm curious, for the sake of our listeners, to know where you stand on, topic and policy-wise, I guess. Over the last 4 or 5 years, the national crime rate has steadily gone down. What policies do you believe might help in that particular trend?
Honestly, really anything we can do to help affordability, I think will help the overall crime rate. I think we can all agree that when the country is doing well, typically crime is down.
One of the other subjects that we've been talking about a lot here in Indiana, especially data centers, the effects that they can and do have with respect to a whole lot of different pieces and parts and functions. And if you are in the federal government, you may have some say as to whether or not those sorts of things move forward or not. What is your position on that?
Absolutely. I do feel like the data centers need to be a bit more responsible in how they're being rolled out. I'm concerned about things like electricity bills on regular residents getting jacked up, obviously the water supply, environmental impact. So I think we need to first put it on those companies to make sure they are covering the cost of all of those things before it can impact everyday people.
On a federal level, how will you encourage more growth in the job market? Is there things in your mind that you could do at the federal level to help bring even more jobs into this district that you would be serving and the state of Indiana?
Yep, I think just really returning the tax rates back to what they used to be, that tends to drive more business. If you have a choice of either putting more money into your business or sending it to the federal government, you tend to reinvest that money back into your business and grow jobs. And that's really how this country grew in the 1950s.
A lot of things happen in our world all the time, but a lot of things are happening right now. There's a war in Ukraine. There's the Gaza ceasefire that's shaky. There's the momentary ceasefire in Iran. Who knows what's going on there? Every 5 minutes it seems to change. As a representative, how do you see your role in helping to manage or steer how the United States is dealing with these situations?
Yeah, and sadly you've left off some other potential ones like, Greenland and Cuba and gosh knows where else we're thinking about going nation building at this point in time. And my viewpoint is that right now we have so many problems in this country, we really need to sit back and focus on those rather than going off and trying to pick fights across the world. We don't need to be out there doing nation building. And I think we've also done a lot over the last year or so to destroy our reputation within the world. And so I'd like to see Congress actually do its job, rein in a president that's maybe a little bit out of control, and try to reestablish some sense of authority in the world again.
Okay. Steve Avit is our guest here for the Meet the Candidates segment on WMUN. For the final a moment or two that we have left in our segment with you, I'll give the floor to you. What kinds of things haven't we talked about, I haven't asked about, that you would like people to know about you and why you're advocating for them out there to vote for you on May 5?
Yeah, at the end of the day, whatever situation I found myself in, I've usually been able to go in and make friends with people. Even on the campaign trail, I've become friends with most of the other candidates. So I'm really optimistic about being able to go to Washington, get in there, reach across the aisle, make some friends, and really just try to get some stuff done. And don't get me wrong, when the time comes to fight those friends, I'm ready to do that as well. But we've got to start somewhere.
Let me ask you this as a last question. Mm-hmm. If you are not successful, do you see yourself trying again? In other words, has the process of campaigning and seeking the support to win the primary and ultimately win the general election for this particular seat, has it been what you expected, and would you try again if you need to do that?
That's a great question. It has not been what I've expected. Whether I would do it again or not, I'm not sure at this point in time, but it has been a great, fun experience. I have enjoyed every second of it. So, and to that end, if I'm not successful, then I'd be more focused on just trying to help whoever is successful in winning the primary, so that hopefully it's not even an issue next time around.
Well, it's been a pleasure meeting you. Thank you for being willing to do this with us this morning. And more importantly, thank you for your willingness to serve, because I believe that is something that not everybody has. Not everybody has that gumption. Not everybody necessarily wants to put themselves out like that. So thank you for doing that and for your willingness. We very much appreciate you for doing so.
Great. Well, thank you for saying so, and thank you for having me on here today.
Absolutely. Steve Avit is the candidate for the Democratic nomination for the primary May 5th for the 5th Congressional District. As our Meet the Candidates segments will continue in the couple of weeks to come, that primary is coming quickly. We'll have more this morning on Delaware County Today on WMUN.
This is Inside Indiana Business Radio. I'm Gary Dick. Members of the Chicago Bears leadership team met with Hammond Mayor Tom McDermott and other local and state leaders Friday as the team continues to mull over where to locate a new stadium. The meeting was held in the Wolf Lake area on the city's north side, where a proposed stadium would be built. Bears president and CEO Kevin Warren was seen walking with McDermott from the meeting, which reportedly also included team owner George McCaskey. McDermott described it as, quote, another great meeting. Creating a pipeline of innovative companies from Israel to Indiana. That's how Iron Nation Indiana partner Luke Messer describes a $60 million public-private investment and commercialization fund announced last week that would include $15 million from the state.
Every one of these Israeli tech companies, they have to come to market in Indiana. And when they've come and visited, what they see is this, incredibly collegial atmosphere where folks are welcoming to them, but have all the assets they need to succeed and be profitable.
You're listening to Inside Indiana Business Radio.
We build Indiana. The Laborers International Union of North America builds and maintains roads, bridges, and other essential infrastructure that make us the crossroads of America. So thanks to LIUNA members' work, Hoosiers have a better quality of life, like access to utilities, easier routes to jobs, schools, or medical care, and deliveries keep moving. We build Indiana for good jobs and stronger communities. The Laborers International Union of North America. We are LIUNA.
Indiana, start your engines. Join us from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for our Emmy Award-winning Business at the Brickyard, presented by LIUNA. All month long, we'll bring you exclusive interviews, features, and a behind-the-scenes look at how the business of motorsports and racing drive the Indiana economy. Business at the Brickyard. It's front row access you won't want to miss.
Here in Muncie, we know what it means to show up for one another. We celebrate our wins, big and small. And when times get tough, we lean in, not away. At WMUN, we're more than just a voice on the radio. We are your neighbor, your friend, your connection to what matters most. Every morning, we wake up with you, sharing the stories of our city. highlighting the heroes you don't always hear about, and cheering on the teams that carry our hopes on their shoulders. This isn't just news and sports. This is home. From the streets of downtown to the heart of Delaware County, we're here because you're here. Thanks for letting WMUN be part of your day. We're proud to be your hometown station. Listen to Delaware County Today on Alexa. Just enable the skill, then say, Alexa, play WMUN. Now back to Steve Lindell.
The vast majority of our audience listen on terrestrial radio, 92.5 FM, 1340 AM. We do have streamers and smart speakers fired up in Tijuana, Mexico. All right. Here's Mansfield, Ohio, La Mesa, California, and I think I got Mama in Minnesota and Roger mentioned, and I did mention China listening earlier this morning as well. I hope that was not a bot. Anything's possible. We have technologists that protect us in that regard. Thank you to Sean Mattingly, as well as Justin Peckinpah, who do great work for us behind the scenes, sometimes on the front line, because you just never know when things can and do occur. We're on the YouTube channel Woof Boom Studio B. We upload videos to this show and many others too on a daily basis, so you can get new content. Sign up, subscribe, hit that subscribe button to Woof Boom Studio B on the YouTube channel from our radio group. We look forward to seeing you watch us. Actually, we won't see you watch us, but I wouldn't be surprised if that technology doesn't exist someday as well. All right, next item. Finally, there's one thing that voters can agree on.
8 in 10 expressing concern regardless of political affiliation. It's also 8 in 10 concerned across all income levels, but voters are doubtful about political.
This is Poll Paris with Fox News Director of Polling, Dana Blanton.
Voters across the political spectrum are united on at least one thing: high prices. Nearly 9 in 10 are worried about inflation. That cuts across party lines, with large majorities of Democrats, Republicans, and independents all feeling the pinch. Same story on gas prices. Worry is widespread, with about 8 in 10 expressing concern regardless of political affiliation. It's also 8 in 10 concerned across all income levels, but voters are doubtful about political solutions. Only about 3 in 10 say either Democrats or Republicans have a clear plan to bring down prices. And while majorities within each party believe their own side is offering a solution, most independents are skeptical of both sides. There's also a sense Washington leaders are disconnected. About 6 in 10 voters say congressional Democrats, congressional Republicans, and the White House are out of touch with people like them. I'm Dana Blanton. That's your Poll Paris.
On WMUN, News Talk, Sports Talk, Community Talk, we have the Power Hour for the Sports Talk programming. Every day, 4 to 5 p.m., Mark Forster has started his patio series of the 1925 Pub House. He had a great get, Chris Capco, the new Ball State men's basketball coach, this past Friday. You can replay that and anything else on our website, WMUNmuncie.com. There's also a big, long series of those events coming up to enjoy maybe an early start to a weekend there in downtown Muncie and get connected to some things that you may not know about with respect to Ball State University sports. Coming up on WMUN today, our Monday morning talk block includes the 765businessjournal.com radio show, hosted by Lefay Pegues, the rib sauce boss, and also a member of the Muncie Central Bearcat award-winning list. We had that story on a couple of weeks ago. Today, he will welcome in Treva McJury, the leader of Cornerstone Center for the Arts. That is from 9 to 9:30 this morning. Then at 9:30, it's the weekly program called All Kinds of People. That is hosted by the Hall of Fame member of the Indiana Broadcasters Association, Dr. Joe Misiewicz. And his guest this morning will be Lee Edwards. one of the key people at the Muncie Mission Ministries. Those interviews and segments always on radio first, and then on demand on the channels that exist on WMUNmuncie.com. Let's see, this month is dedicated to raising awareness about a disorder that impacts more than 1 million people in the U.S. alone.
This is House Call for Health. April is Parkinson's Awareness Month. The Mayo Clinic describes it as a movement disorder of the nervous system that worsens over time. The Parkinson's Foundation says nearly 90,000 people are diagnosed every year. Scientists think the cause is a combination of environmental and genetic factors. There's no standard treatment, but many use a combination of medication, exercise, therapy, surgery, even some complementary options to manage symptoms. Usually a team-based approach with doctors, therapists, and care partners who help address both movement and non-movement challenges. There are several notable celebrities who've shared their Parkinson's journeys over the years, including Muhammad Ali, Alan Alda, and Michael J. Fox. The foundation says public figures speaking openly about Parkinson's helps to increase media attention and humanize the disease, inspiring others to tell their stories of strength. You can get more information and resources at parkinson.org. Or for more health news, go to foxnewshealth.com. House Call for Health. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
WMUN, an affiliate of Fox News Radio, updates right around the top of the hour, every day. We'll see if they have anything to report on. The first nugget that I received right as we started the show this morning, there was an earthquake in Japan. 7.4, I think, was the original number on the Richter scale. That's a big number, so we'll see if there's anything to report on that. WMUN is also the home for Ball State Baseball, presented and made possible by AutomaticPoolCovers.com. There is a tomorrow game at the Shebeck Stadium. Yes, the Indiana Hoosiers are coming to town. 2:45 is the pregame. Kurt Darling is going to call that one from our Woof Boom sports team. Shebeck Stadium, free admission. Tuesday, IU in town for the Ball State Cardinals. And then there's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday series, and we'll have more on those games as we get closer to the weekend, if that's okay to wait just a minute. How about this? The roller coaster temperature guide. If you're watching the YouTube Woof Boom Studio B channel, you can see what the National Weather Service has put up this morning about the craziness of the week to come. And I say the craziness of the week to come. We've had more ups and downs dramatically, have we not, this spring than I have in recent memory. Steve Lindell here live, 34 years on the ground in Muncie, Indiana. We started with widespread frost. The sun is going to be nice and bright. We will bounce to 54 degrees today. Meteorologist Paul Poteet says 41 in the morning. That is not as cold tomorrow, same time, same station. So that's a good thing for your plants. Did you cover them up? And then the Tuesday high with sunny skies will be 75. So that is ideal for that Ball State hosting IU baseball game Tuesday. Some rain chances come in Tuesday night and maybe some thunderstorms as well. Not talking about strong or severe at this juncture, but you know how that can change. And let me look at the numbers here. Let's see. The Wednesday high is 74. That's pretty good. The Thursday high is near 80. All right, that's good. The Friday high will be, hold on, stand by. It's right in front of me, 78. Okay. And then on Saturday, we get 70 and Sunday 71. So that's a pretty good stretch. I heard about one day this week from Mama in Minnesota that might get 85 plus. I want to say that's Wednesday, but that weather can change as well. So stay close to the radio. We'll talk about your weather, even if you're not in the immediate area, because we think that you want to know. And we know that you want to know. I was looking at the Ball State Daily News this morning during my morning show prep. They had an interesting article about parking, and more specifically, the amount and the number of tickets and dollar figures that are associated with parking in ways that you're not supposed to. And you might want to read that yourself if you're headed towards campus anytime soon. Ball State's Daily News is a really good student-run newspaper. Did I say really good? Really, is that grammatically correct? Perhaps I need to have some sort of a refresher on grammar myself. Well, anyway, this right here is a copy of the ticket information and some quotes they have from real live students on campus there at Ball State University as well. We're getting closer to the end of our hour. We will have for you a lot through the week. Our Meet the Candidates segments continue throughout the week, this week and next. May 5 is the primary election day. Everybody that wins that day then moves on to the general election, and we'll have some more coverage of those races, obviously, with those that are still in it to win it, moving on after that fact. All right, now, final item today from the 2022 archives. I wonder if they're still doing this.
The Dean's List with Janice Dean.
Best friends who have taken photos together since they were little boys makes today's Dean's List. Keith Lawton and Martin Dowell are both 60 years old. They recently celebrated their 50th anniversary photo. The men started taking pictures in a photo booth together in a Woolworth store in London when they were 5 years old and have done it ever since, every 5 years, recreating their original photo. Keith says the excitement building up to it and then reliving the memories of all the times they did it before makes it so worthwhile. It became a fun tradition, which they've kept up for over a half a century. They say it's fun to look back on their two 10-year-old selves with sweet, innocent faces and then see over the years what they've gone through in life. Keith says our lives haven't been anything other than two normal guys. We haven't really done anything spectacular or catastrophic, and we've always kept the friendship. A wonderful keepsake. Keith and Martin keep smiling and saying cheese. Janice Dean, Fox News.
Thank you, Janice, meteorologist by trade and a recovering severe MS patient. We have seen some things from her on the socials in recent days and recent weeks, and we're hoping that she might be able to come back to work soon enough. As we are inside Studio B, I brought up this large camera footage last week. Everybody was really pleased to see the bunny and Brad Robertson, so I did it again for you this morning. Back again tomorrow for Jackson Jacoby producing in the Axia Command Center. I'm Steve Lindell. This is Delaware County Today on WMUN.